Good morning, good evening, and wherever the sun may find you. My name is Walton. I have a co-pilot. I'm so excited for Coffee and Concepts. Mr. Scott Moon, how are you, sir?
It's a 2X Coffee and Concepts. I'm great. I'm home from work, so best part of my day right here.
Yes.
Go to bed.
Oh, you ain't kidding. I'm the same way. I just got home maybe an hour before you did. So, but I'm an hour. I think I'm an hour and ahead. Hour ahead? Hour behind?
Mm-hmm.
And I try to figure out time zones, and then everybody makes fun of me.
Every single time, I'm like, what time is that? I ask you, and you tell me the time, and I immediately go to Google. What time is it on the East Coast? Like it's changed since the last 8 times
right?
we've had this conversation.
That's fantastic. If you notice, we have a little Junior Scott in the picture of the little notebook down below in our little desktop there. We now have 1,000 subscribers on Keystroke Medium, so I felt like I had to do something special, like up my game a little bit.
Right. I was excited. As soon as I came on in the pre-show, I was like, hey, look, he added a little doodad. And I'm in it. And it says Scott with 2 T's, not 3 T's, because people always ask me, is that Scott with 2 T's? No, it's Scott with 3 T's.
Scott
with 1 T. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, no good. Perfect.
But I want to say yes, I wanted to say thank you for coming out because that's fantastic. And it just means I'm not talking to myself or the dog, which there was that one time where he answered and it just got weird. So
strange.
So this morning I am drinking a really nice, I love a Sumatra coffee just because the blend is really dark and like thick, but at the same time, it's not overpowering like an espresso roast or an Italian or French. They have those like really heavy smoky taste to them, but a lot of times they can be salty. Where this is just very like it's got that dark heavy taste to it, but it's mellow. So I really enjoy it. What were you drinking before?
I ground up some coffee, some Starbucks blonde coffee that I made the other day. I made it in the coffee pot, but I got it because I wanted to start doing the French press. A couple days we were talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert, but I've done it a little bit, and it does have a little bit different taste. I'm not quite sure what that is. Josh and I used to go to a place called Reverie Roasters sometimes when we were both working, and they did a pour over.
Yes.
And the way I make my French press, it kind of comes out tasting a little bit like that, if that helps at all. And I don't know what it is, but I just kind of like it. And sometimes I need that. I can't get it from a pot or a Keurig or one of the machines.
You get more of the oil with a French press because you don't have that paper filter to kind of like sop it up.
Yeah. And I let it sit for about 4 minutes in the hot water, and then I press it as slow as I can, and I don't go to the bottom because I watched all the YouTube videos so I can become an instant expert. And then I let it sit for 4 minutes, or if I get talking to somebody, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 minutes, and then I drink it. And it makes about 1 coffee, and it only takes me 15 minutes. So I usually make 1, and then the rest of the day I just slum it because I don't got time for that.
Yeah, I do my wife will make like coffee for me at night before I go to work, and just like an automatic pot kind of deal. But then throughout the day, if I'm up, I have both a French press and a pour over. I find that for the convenience, it takes a little more work on your part, but I just feel like it flows into a better coffee. I really like the pour over.
Yeah, I've never done that. I'm gonna have to learn. You have to walk me through it. We'll do one where if we could do a cooking show.
Yes, we'll do like dual cameras. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Josh will handle the tech because I'll mess that
up. William Joseph Roberts says, "Good morning, sir. Welcome aboard."
The chat.
Oh yeah. There's a chat somewhere around here.
There we go.
Usually I end up with Facebook user.
Yeah,
and then once again, everybody makes fun of me. So with our coffee talk behind us, let's get into concepts because one of the reasons I really like having you on is I enjoy your writing, but at the same time you have some like core concepts that you use and sometimes that you have in your books that I really enjoy. One of those aspects is hey, John Gibbons, good morning. Well, no, that's right, you're in Great Britain. Good afternoon. John is an amazing artist. If you have not seen John's work, go to like John Gibbons Art on Facebook. You can find him anywhere. If you just type in JONGIBBONS, so that and go to like ArtStation or whatever. John's artwork is amazing. So
That is
if you
nice.
get a minute, you can really sop up like some glorious eye candy. It's just amazing. But like getting back to like the AIs, just like in the covers behind you, the Reaper series, his starting from day one, his AI is a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah.
But even the books I started reading from you, I did. I started with
Very
the
shorty.
Dark.
Or
Well,
Dark Landing.
yeah, I got the Dark Landing first because I
Yes.
found you through another author, and
Right.
then John saying, "Oh shucks," about his artwork. But yeah, I found you through Dark Landing, and then I got into Shorty, and I love mech stuff. I love totally implausible. I mean, you're not going to put something on stilts if you can put it on tracks or repulsors or wheels or whatever. But oh my god, I love mechs, and yeah, that's Shorty cool. Was fun, and that AI was like solid. Can you talk a little bit about that, like artificial angel on your shoulder, and like how you come up with some of those voices?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all just dialogue and stuff. But the thing is it's kind of like it's like the most convenient way to have an internal dialogue without and get away from internal monologue, or they have a thing called free and direct style, which Sean Coyne talks about quite a bit. But it's just if you got a kind of a cool sidekick or secondary character and you roll them into there, but since they're always there, they have their own unique thing that goes into them, and they have license to just talk smack back to their owner because like, well, for example, in Shorty, he's always on a budget, so he never has a great upgrade like that, and he's always wishing he had a better upgrade. You know, and it tells him hard truths about his personality, his failings that he doesn't want to. You know, he's like in one of the Shorties, he's my mech has been impounded because he parked it illegally, and he's like.
Like you do.
And he says, what the hell's going on? He says, I did advise you that you can't park it there. You told me to. And I can't remember there's a lot of profanity in Shorty. So he tells him to get lost and things. But then like he has a breathalyzer. He can't drive his mech and if he doesn't pass the breath. So his AI is giving him a hard time about that. And then he finally gets the upgrade and he gets one with sarcasm somehow because it was a bootleg version and it's just a
jerk. But yeah, there's always that, there's always kind of like that angel or devil on the shoulder. You see that a lot, especially caught it in the first book of Reaper. And I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't read the last Reaper series, please do. It is a really nice twist on like redeeming a character.
It's a redemption story, yeah, and it's a guardian story. I like to think, and you don't really, and it comes a little. It's not really a spoiler, but you know, he's a really bad guy, but he's kind of only mostly, and he thinks he's a bad guy too. But if you look at what he really does, he really almost always makes all the sacrifices to help the people around him. You know, it's just that if you don't want to be on the wrong side of the really bad guy that's helping the other, it's kind of like what was that? The Enforcer. Remember that series from like the 70s?
Oh yeah.
No, was it an Enforcer with I want to say Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson, yep.
Yeah, or the Punisher. You know, all those flawed heroes.
Yeah, somebody who's gone through such traumatic pain that they're just broken as people, but then later they find something to kind of bring that humanity back.
Yeah, and they got a cause. You know, what are you going to do to them?
Devin saying, love an anti-hero.
They're always the best.
But like the thing I like in kind of both those stories is both Shorty and Reaper. For a little bit of the story, they're really those AIs are really acting as a conscience.
Yes.
You know, like maybe you shouldn't do that. You know, like you were just saying a minute ago, you shouldn't park there, bro. And then he comes out and there, you know, he's got a boot on his mech, you know, or got impounded. And then he's just like, well, what the hell? And, you know, there's that I told you so moment. But I mean, it happens more often than not because, you know, you got this character that just feels like I'm untouchable. You know, I'm Shorty.
Yeah.
You're not going to get me, you know, but then.
Well, you know, if you had a friend that could had a lot of power and did things literally, like there's a scene in Shorty where he runs into three young ladies that he had met at the clubs. He doesn't really remember because, you know, he's between missions and whatnot. And he immediately says, scrub all that from my memory. Because he asks who they are, and his AI, who is Kai, his name's Kai, but it's just an acronym, Combat Artificial Intelligence, and he never takes the time to actually give a name, so they call him Kai. But he tells him, and he goes, "Do you want to see the video?" And he goes, "Hell no, erase that immediately." But then about an hour later, it's like, "Can you just save one or two of the picture?" He goes, "Nope, they're already gone." So he's difficult.
Yeah, I just like the fact that a lot of times these AIs are more human than the actual character in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I always and it says it in most of those is they usually. I don't know if it's a lazy habit or something I need to mix up, but I almost always have my AIs will tell their host that, like, well, they'll say, "Why are you such an asshole to Kai?" And Kai says, "Well, I am based off of your personality. That's the way it works when you get the bargain version. So you get what you put into it."
Now we've seen the bargain version a lot with Shorty in those books.
Oh yeah.
But like, what's like the super upgraded version? I mean, is it just like, does it sound like satin and lace and like you're getting a massage from a Swedish masseuse the whole time?
Yeah, it should, because he wants to get one of his characters interacts with has a sexy voiceover. It's a female pilot that he's been friends with for a long time, and so he always thinks he should get that voice for his AI, but he never does, because by this point it would be weird, because now we're used to Kai's voice, how Kai's voice is, and things like that. But the thing about the AIs is they're just a secondary character. Like for Mass Jotham in Dark Landing is kind of like an AI, but he's his Watson.
Yeah, he's the local color.
Yeah, he's Sherlock's Watson.
Right on.
And it has all that, and he has just a different way of speaking. It's a really unique characteristics. Knows things that the main character doesn't. Can help him out, but always imperfectly.
John over on Facebook is talking about he always loved the AIs in Rogue Trooper, great British comic. And that it was more he was more human than the Rogue was, and of course the AI was the helm, gunner, and back. But he makes a good point that it was used by the writer as humor, because what it does is a lot of times is it points out the flaws of the main character.
Yeah, it's definitely a great tool for all those type of things, and you can use it for. I mean, you can use it for all types of as a foil. You can use it to bring backstory. Especially, if they are computers, if they have that information, they can deliver it on request, but they're not going to give it up for no reason, and things like that as well.
Now, a lot of times these AIs are often the angels on a character's shoulder, but like in the instance of the Reaper, when we first meet the Reaper's AI X, he's just kind of been decommissioned, just like the Reaper was, like Kane was, and but he's just trying to balance out the other guy's character, so he's not going to suffer so much in prison. But yet, what would happen if the AI was installed as like the devil on the shoulder?
And that's the thing. X-37 is, as Kane, the last Reaper, is his AI, and so X-37 is actually installed in him to enhance his ability to be like not just an assassin, more of like an assassin if you needed an assassin to like really prove a point. Like they wanted to be able to do like quiet assassination, but they also want to basically horrify you and make your entire group live in total fear. And so sometimes they're going through this, and you think of X-37 as being kind of a nice guy, but every now and then his solutions are really harsh and not very human, because he's a machine. But so he could be the devil, on your shoulder very easily. That is true,
Devin Ford. Always nagging at to give up smoking. Luke had an interesting thing where he was saying, how about a character or a story where both the characters are AI, kind of like competing AIs, maybe in the same person's skull, or competing. That. Yeah, that would be definitely interesting.
In the last Reaper, initially, Kane is in prison, and he has I can't remember what I called it. It's a like a really low rent artificial limited, because they're all limited artificial intelligences, and it's like a boot basically that he has on his neurosystem, and it thinks that it's given Kane directives, but of course X-37's in the background. It eventually, you know, wipes out the other AI. They never really says what he does to him, but you know, if you read between the lines, he took him out. So
yeah, because you see that AI really ramp up as you get it a little deeper into the story. And spoilers, if you have not read the Last Reaper, fast forward like maybe 30 seconds, plug your ears, jump up and yell out "la la la." When he gets onto that like artificial constructed planetoid, and he's going through and going after the target, and you know the target ends up with some extra baggage via the young girl and blah blah blah. You know, you got this, the AI is really ramping up because it's like, oh, you know, don't step there because that'll put you in line of sight of these guys, and then these guys are trying to terrorize and come in this way, and it like he was on the ball, you know. So that was really cool.
Well, and X-37 gets continued. He has its own growth arc, but X-37 he's a limited artificial intelligence, and part of what he's limited is that he's not in one place in his body. So he's not like a chip that's in his head. He's like made on a cellular level. He's a cellular level robot or artificial construction that is woven through his entire nervous system. So he's limited by the size and strength of Kane's nervous system.
Good Lord.
And so he can burn Kane out pretty quick. You know, he could kill him, but there's several things that happen throughout the series that allow him to upgrade some armor enhancements and vehicle things, some other artificial intelligences they run into, where he becomes more and more powerful until he's, you know, kind of scary, like scarier than Kane. So.
Speaking of scary, Corvo yelling out "Destroy, destroy, destroy," and he's like, "Just hear me out. I'm just saying humanity needs to be saved by being purged." Thank you, Ultron.
Reset, Ultron. Thank you, Ultron. Right. Great.
So, if somebody wanted to kind of craft that AI persona as a secondary character in a story, what are some tips and tricks that they could use, or possibly some stories they could read other than The Last Reaper, on sale now at your local retailer?
It's always
or Shorty, which also on sale at your local retailer. What are some tricks and tips that they could use to kind of get these characters in a story so that they're believable and fun?
I think it's such a popular and common writing and character. It's like its own character. You know, sci-fi now, there's just all the way back to 2001: A Space Odyssey. Wasn't that the first one where they started? That was actually a computer. It wasn't
talking to the computer.
Yeah. Was it Al or Hal?
Yep. Hal. And then Aliens.
Aliens, or even War Games. Do you want to play a game?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wish I had known you were going to say that. I would have set up the clip.
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah. But the main thing is so I guess that you kind of have an idea of your rules and limitations of your AI, maybe what their purpose was, who made them, and things like that. And then just develop the character relationship. And that's one thing I did. My editors, Jeff and Molly and Jennifer on the Variant publishing team, they did reel me back in a lot, because what happened is my AI would tend to become too human, and it's become what's the word for it? Anthropomorphic, where it's starting to actually behave like a human consciousness, and they're like, you got to be really careful where that line is, and you can decide where it is. I mean, it's your story, do whatever you want, but so you have a few rules and limitations, and I like to take X-37 out of the picture every now and then, like some sort of interference, or something has gone wrong, or he's been hacked, or he's dealing with a problem, and things like that. So
the RoboCop remake had some interesting like fight scenes and stuff like that in it. It was, I don't feel personally that it was as good as the original, but one of the things they did was explore how an onboard AI could make the officer in that cybernetic body as fast as an actual robot.
Right.
It was a really interesting scene, and the way they described it was not only plausible as far as like how we think of technology, virtual reality, augmented reality, but it could, I mean, I could see that happening should, you know, we end up stuffing a head and lungs inside of a suit of like basically robot armor.
Well, a lot of it's going to be how fast you can use the tools. And I can't. I wish I knew the name for it but like for example, on our department before all the COVID and stuff, they were going to these new optics for your handgun. And basically, it's a red dot optic like we used to use on our M4s and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like if you see one, you're like, this is cool. It's going to make me a great shot in like 5 seconds, which is not true. I'm just going to throw it out there. But so it has basically, because we're always taught front sight mostly, then rear sight, side alignment, grip stance, trigger control, follow through, all those things in handgun marksmanship. But this sight is really quick, but you have to put like thousands of rounds through it to acquire it. And it's like way faster once you learn it. So the same thing with an AI is you're probably not using it to its full potential because you can't think fast enough because you can set it on like 15 different tasks and then come back to it 2 seconds later and all of those things, unless your AI is run by my computer, which means every time you reset it, it takes 4.5 days to turn back on. So technology could make it faster or could make it really slow, depending on if I'm involved in it in any way.
John from over on Facebook is saying that the movie Upgrade is all about that. That movie was creepy.
I haven't seen it.
We need to have a movie day. It is so. I already own it, so we'll do a movie day. It's it is creepy in the way that in how it explores AI and AI's ability to assist in disability. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that they're exploring with like soldiers and first responders that are grievously injured on the job and putting in cybernetic limbs, bionic limbs, stuff like that. How AI could actually enhance those tools to get people walking and working again. James McCormick is like, yes, late night. And then he says, Walt, you can take me out to the movies anytime. Wink, wink.
Anytime. Winkety wink, wink.
Yeah, we'll have to do
nudge, say no more.
We'll have to do a KSM movie night. So any final thoughts on AI before we shut the curtains, kick the coffee pot down back into some place where we can clean it off from all the sludge that is now draining in there?
Yeah, I just think that when we say this every single show, it's always going to come back to you got two basic things: plot and character, and your AI is just another character, and they should kind of serve that relationship. That's what they're for, They're kind of a tool and they're fun, and just realize if people are loving your AIs and you're doing it right, if everybody wants to go to sleep and close your book, then you're probably just not doing anything original with them. So,
right on.
But yeah, just have fun with it. That's my motto.
If people want to stalk you on the internet, what's the best way to find you?
You can go to scottmoonrider.com as my website. You can go to the Moonbase on Facebook or Keystroke Medium, obviously, because I'm there a lot. That's kind of where we hang. But yeah, that's the main thing. Or search for him in Amazon. Search for Invasion Day. They Came for Blood.
Yes.
Book 1 on Amazon, and then you can just follow me from there.
And what are you working on right now?
I'm working on Victory Day, book 3 in that series. I'm working on Kapow, and maybe a collaboration with you on They Came for Power, which is a parallel / extension series, and it's totally wicked. I can let you tell the premise if you want. I don't know how far you want to go into that, but it's cool.
Yeah. So we're doing a superpower team up because that's how superheroes roll. And when you drink as much coffee, when you drink as much coffee as we do, you have no choice but to vibrate through walls, be able to taste the color number 4. But it's a companion series to They Came for Blood, another family and another perspective, maybe in a different part of the country. And let's just say that the government, who thought they had everything, this is the way it's going to go, and we got this covered. In book 1 of They Came for Blood, you see that they don't have this covered.
They don't have it covered.
And you see that other people have made other arrangements. So good times. We're about 20,000 into it now. 20,000 words. Gonna keep slamming those keys and sending the chapters, and hopefully we'll make magic happen.
So we got on this because we were talking about stuff, and you had a similar idea, and I said, well, could that be in this universe? And you're like, I think it could. And then then the next day you came up with this outline, or I guess what would you call it? More of a synopsis, summary, guiding, a governing document. It's not really so much of an outline. And I got some great characters. The main protagonist has a unique set of skills.
Yep. And he's surrounded by this huge family of people
who are emotional.
Yes, they are. But the main character is based off a friend of mine that I served with, and his very large family who are just like really over the top. And I was like, you know something? These would make great characters in a book sometime. So why not steal from the best and steal from people who are absolutely cool? Before I sign out real quick, I am going to, we were talking about John's artwork in the beginning. And if you haven't seen John's artwork, it is gorgeous. He does amazing work. The details and stuff like that he puts in are just fantastic groovy. I mean, there's just so much to love about his artwork. So, and this
ArtStation is a good place to hang out. I'm pretty sure I follow him on the Reddit. I need to sign in to find out if I already do, but yeah.
He just finished, and here's a cover that he did. You can see it right up on the wall back there for a game that is connected to the game that we own, which is called Supers. This is the Search and Destroy cover that takes our superhero game and turns it into something where you can play the 3 B's: Born, Bower, or Bond. So, but yeah, John does really awesome work, and everybody's saying, yeah, that kick is sweet. This is some artwork that was inspirational for Hunter's Moon, which is going to be our series coming from Athon Books coming soon. So yeah, but yeah, John is really fantastic, has an incredible style. So yeah, follow him when you can, and make sure to check out They Came for Blood on Amazon, where you can get They Came for Blood. That's Invasion Day, and then what's the second book, Scott?
Resistance Day is the second book,
and then third book coming out in October, I believe.
In October is Victory Day.
Yes,
and there's some more that are going to come after that, but that's going to be the first arc where if you decided you wanted to be done, it should cover things. But there's going to be some cool things that happen once they kind of come to the conclusion that maybe hints or implies or misleads you towards. I don't know.
And we've seen those covers before, and those covers are so good.
They're so good.
So yeah, get to clicking, people. Get to clicking. And speaking of clicking, speaking of clicking, don't forget to check out Keystroke Medium live on Mondays with Josh, Scott, and Chuck. They were on hiatus this week, but they will be back on Tuesdays. Normally, we are Coffee King Concepts. It's a weird week here in Rhode Island because we have a local holiday that threw everything out of whack. So we're Thursday, which was cool because then we got you, Scott, graciously came on.
Good time.
Thursday, The Writer's Journey, which is on hiatus until September. And then you got Josh Gayu doing long-form storytelling. I can speak the English after the caffeine. And that's on YouTube, where he guns through and digests huge topics over a series of a couple of hours. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And we want to thank all 1,000 of you that have liked and subscribed Keystroke Medium.
Done it, finally.
So we got that 1,000. We're looking for 1,000 more. If you like reading and you like writing, there we go, not writing. I mean,
well, that too. I mean, you can do that if you want.
So just don't do both at the same time. If you like reading, you like writing, and everything in between, check out Keystroke Medium. Hit the like and subscribe, ding that bell, and with that, we're out.